Right, then we can look at about the question number 2. So, again right, this carry 25 marks, tested under section A. Question number 2. Right. Now, if you look at about the question number 2, look at the requirement here. Part A, state the threshold resources and unique resources of CFS group. State the threshold resource and unique resources of CFS group. It tests your knowledge on strategic capabilities, threshold resource and unique resources. Part B, assess the strategic capabilities of CFS Finance Sembia Limited using the WIN framework. Assess the strategic capabilities of CFS Finance Sembia Limited using the WIN framework. So, part B also connect with this unique resources and threshold resources. 12 marks are allocated on that one, right. Then C, evaluate the managing director's statement about CFS group having a transnational organizational design in order to be successful in its international business model. So, he may have suggested to have transnational organization design, right. You want to evaluate whether it is a correct decision. So, 8 mark again, right, this part is tested your knowledge on organization structures. Part D, discuss the managerial perspective of strategy as a design and strategy as experience as major ways in which strategies can come about in the CFS group. Discuss the managerial perspective of strategy as design and strategy as experience as major ways in which strategies can come about in the CFS group. That test your knowledge on strategy lenses, right, strategy lenses, right. So, first of all, we will try to get an understanding about threshold resource and unique resources, theory aspects. Right, threshold resources and unique resources. Right, if you remember the theory part you have learned on this, right. So, strategic capabilities, are two types. What are the two types? Is resources and competences. Resources and competences. Then resources are two types: threshold resources, then unique resources. Then competences are two types, threshold competences other one is core competences. The question is based on this resources part. You know what is resources? Any thing which can be used as an input to the production process we identify as resources. So, resource can be categorized as either threshold resources or unique resources. You know what is threshold resources? Threshold resources are the resources that an organization must have to meet the minimum requirement and expectation of the customer. At least we should have this to conduct the business activities. Without this, we can't conduct the business activities. Unique resources, these are the resources that competitors find difficult or impossible to copy. They are special, difficult to copy, imitate in other words, right? Difficult to imitate or copy. Are unique resources, right? So, examiner is asking you to identify threshold resources and unique resources given in the scenario. That is your task, right. So, we will try to identify threshold resources and unique resources. Threshold resources. So, we will identify like this. While we are reading, we will try to fill that. Right. So, we will read the given scenario. CFS Group PLC is a financial service company. So, when you say financial service, that cover wide range of financial activities such as bank, leasing, finance companies, factor companies, so many companies are covered here. So, they are involved in financial service company. CFS Group PLC is a finance service company well established in Sri Lanka since the 1950s with a good reputation in the industry. So, they are not a new one, they are old company, they are doing the business from 1950s. It is a leading financial service provider to non-banking financial institutions, right. It is the leading financial service provider to non-banking financial institutions. So, they that mean I think they are the leader in these non-financial, non-banking financial institutions, right. Then today CFS Group is one of the largest and most diversified finance service companies in the country, and it also an international presence. Right, if you look at about that, what do you think about that? One of the largest and most diversified finance service company in the country and also has an international presence. So, there may be some other companies also diversified one, so that can be identified as a threshold resources. One of the largest and most diversified finance service companies in the country, right. One of the largest, financial service service provider one of the largest and most diversified finance services. One of the largest and most diversified financial service companies in the country. Providers in the country. So that is threshold one. Then other one is international presence. That's also threshold one. There will be some other organization also operating in international market. International presence. Right. Currently, CVS Group is the industry leader in Sri Lanka, having more than 150 branches all over the country. So more than branch network, more than 150 branches. Threshold resources, that is also threshold resource. Others may also have more than 150 branches, some of them probably, right. Then Sugasilla, chairman of the group, is a visionary leader who has more than 25 years of experience in the financial sector. What do you think? Is that a threshold or unique resource? Should be a unique resource, no? Right, visionary leader. He may have achieved good status. It should be a threshold resource. At the same time, his experience also, it should be a unique resource. At the same time, his experience also should be considered as a unique resource. You may not be able to find people who have more than 25 years. Rare actually. That is very rare scenario in the industry. Right. So I will identify that one as unique resource. Visionary leader, then 25 years of experience. 25 years of experience of the chairman, right, as a unique resources. Right. CVS Group commenced operation in Sembia last year with the setting up of CFA Finance Sembia Limited. So they went to the Sembia and setting up CFA Finance Sembia Limited, a deposit taking non-banking financial institutions. Deposit taking non-banking financial institutions that provide financial products such as home loan, motor vehicle finance, business loan and consumer loan, among other products, in order to help narrow the finance service gap in Sembia. There may be opportunity in the Sembia to capitalize that one. We decide to go to Sembian market, right. Then next one, a well qualified country manager has been appointed to oversee the Sembian business, and he is expected to manage all the business operations in Sembian market. Well qualified country manager, right. I assume that one as a unique resource. A well qualified country manager. A well qualified country manager, right, well qualified country manager. He is expected to manage all the business operations in Sembian market. Other business units located in Sri Lanka operate as independent entities, although they provide capabilities that are utilized by the rest of the CFS group. Read that sentence very carefully. A well qualified country manager has been appointed to oversee, that means supervise, the Sembian business, and he is expected to manage all the business operation in the Sembian market, right. Other business units located in Sri Lanka operate as independent entities, although they provide capabilities that are utilized by the rest of the CFS group. So in Sri Lanka, the unit are separate SBU probably, and they have got the freedom. Here Sembian market, they may not be independent unit, they may be closely monitor. That is what we can get, right. So, probably the manager in that country may be supervised closely by Sri Lankan parent company, right. So, he may have to provide different report through that one. The parent company may managing the operation of them. Then the versatile managers of CFS group facilitate and integrate all other managerial activities. CFS group has very clearly defined manager role, relationship and boundaries. CFS group has very clearly defined manager role, relationship and boundaries, right. So, we can identify that one as threshold resources, very clearly defined manager role, relationship and boundaries, very clearly defined managerial roles, relationship relationships and boundaries. Right. Then CFS, if said is keen to establish innovative financial ED model across Sembia, using the microfinance bank it acquired recently. On this occasion, CFS Group Managing Director Rohit Vikramasinghe says Sembia is a very important market to us as it's one of the fastest growing economies in Africa. There is enormous opportunity and potential here for micro entrepreneurs to expand their businesses. We hope to utilize our threshold resources as well as our unique resources to effectively penetrate the Indian market. Our success mantra is to satisfy our customer need by adding value to them. As we have the worldwide patent right for our microfinance mobile app. What do you think about that one? Worldwide patent right for microfinance mobile app. We will be able to give a hard time to our competitors. Should be a unique resource. You have a patent right on this one. So, patented microfinance mobile app. Patented microfinance mobile app. Right, patented microfinance mobile app, that should be unique resource. We will be able to give a hard time to our competitors. We firmly believe that our strategy are deemed to arise as a design rather than by the experience of our team members. Our transnational organized design will probably help us to achieve more economics of scale by reconciling global scope and scale with local responsiveness. Any other point we can take that one? Good reputations, can we take that one? At the beginning it is there, no? Good reputations. Where we are going to put these good reputations? Is it threshold resource or unique resources? What do you think? Right, others organization also have the same, no? Right, therefore we will put under threshold resources, good reputations, threshold resources. Anything else we can take? Anything deposit taken non-financial finance such as home loan, well qualified country manager, we have taken that one. Other business unit in Sri Lanka operate independent, although the required capabilities that are utilized by the rest of the CFA group. Sharing capabilities by the group entities will may identify as a threshold resource. Sharing capabilities among group entities. Right, group entities Any other point we can take? The well versatile managers of CFS group will take on the threshold resources, no? Yes, well versatile managers of CFS group. Well versatile managers of CFS group. Right. I think it's enough. Actually, how many marks given? I'll check how many marks given here. Only 4 marks, no? Right. If you have identify, you will say 4 points under each. That's enough. Here, how many points we have identified? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. 7 actually, 7 have been identified. Unique resource 4, 7 and 4. Better to write 4 points under each. Right. So we have identified more than the requirement. Right. So we'll look at what the examiner say on this one also. What the examiner say? Right. So what are the threshold resources examiner has identified? Diversified well established business. Diversified well established business. Yes, we have identified points similar to that one. One of the largest and most diversified finance service provider in the country. So similar to that point he has identified. The leading finance service provider to non-banking finance institutions. So I have not taken that one. The leading finance service provider to non-banking finance institutions. Right, I have not taken that one. I assume that is as a unique resource. I didn't take that one. Right. Island-wide branch network. Yes, we have taken that point. More than 150 branches. International person. Yes, we have taken that point. Very clearly defined manager role relationship boundaries. We have taken that point. Then business unit located in Sri Lanka provide cable that are utilized by the rest of the group. Group synergies. We have identified that one as sharing capability among group entities. Diversified management team. So we have identified that well versatile management team. We have identified additional point, that is reputation. So we assume that one as a threshold resource. Examiner has not identified that point. Right. We look at our unique resource of CFS group. The chairman experience in the industry. Yes, we have identified. He is having 25 years experience. The chairman vision leadership and is born in talent. So we have identified that one. Right. Vision leadership. Industry leadership and reputations. Right. So industry leadership can be a unique resource. That's true. But reputation, I think, right, it's a threshold resource. Oh, here the assume is that is linked with the leadership, industry leadership reputations. If so, this is for it, right? If you take reputation, generally it should be a threshold resources. Industry leadership and right leadership, industry leadership and the reputation. That means reputation connect with the leadership, then it should be a unique resource. That point is correct. Then having an offshore company managed by a well qualified country manager, we have identified well qualified country manager. Patent right for the microfinance mobile app, we have identified that one also, right. So we miss one point, that is industry leadership under the unique resources, then other points are correct, right. Right. Then shall we look at about the part B of the questions. Now part B is the assess the strategic capabilities of CFS Finance Sembia Limited using the WIN framework. So, it tests your knowledge on Win framework, right. So, here look at 8 marks, for the A part only 4 marks, right. 4 marks means within 6 to 7 minutes you have to develop the answer, but for the B part 8 marks have been given. So, Win framework, it tests your knowledge on Win framework. I hope that you remember Win framework. So, we look at about theory part. There are 4 qualities which can be found with strategic capabilities. What are those 4 qualities? They must produce effects that are valuable to buyers. They must be rare. They must be robust and impossible to imitate or copy easily. They must be non-substitutable. Right. So, here value, we mean value, R mean rarity, I mean inimitability, N mean non-substitutability. What is value to customers? So, whether organization is able to meet the customer needs, right. To get a competitive advantage, organization should be able to meet the requirement of the customer properly. Then rarity, what is rarity? It should not be widely available. So, if it is widely available, then others also can get it, right. Inimitability and robustness. Robustness mean that a resource is difficult for compared to imitate. It should be very difficult to copy, right. Non-substitutability, but in non-substitutability, it is something that competitors do not need, because they can achieve the same objective using different resources. Now, here examiner asks you to apply this Win framework for the given scenario, right. So, first of all you can talk about the value to customer part, theory part like this. Then what do you think about the point you can incorporate within your answer? So, are they going to provide value product to customers? Now, look at this one carefully. Strategic capabilities of CFS Finance Sembia Limited, right. A part talk about threshold resource and unique resource of CFS group. So, it is group aspect. Now, part B you want to look at only about the Sembia Limited, right. Therefore, you must be very careful, right. Sembia Limited. If you look at the customer value, what we are trying to give to the customers here, right. So, we are trying to provide customers finance products such as home loan, motor vehicle finance, business loan and consumer loan among other products. Here the objective is to provide products which are not available in Sembia Limited. Here it clearly mentioned in order to help narrow the financial services gap in Sembia, right. So, that clearly indicate that right, we are trying to offer some product which are not available in Sembia. So, you can mention these products. Not only that, I think on the other hand, I think we are trying to give more value to the customers. This microfinance bank, right. Sembia using the microfinance bank. So, they have acquired recently microfinance bank. Through that also we try to give more value to the customers. You can mention about that, right. Then if you look at the second one, rarity. So, what are the things we have rare in this particular market? One of the things is actually that app, right, right, you look at about the app, it should not be available in other country because we have the patent right now, right. It clearly mentioned that we have the patent right, right. Here you see that as we have the worldwide patent right for our microfinance mobile app, we will be able to give a hard time to our competitors. So it should be rare, others may not have the same, right. Right. Then what is the next one? Next one is inimitability and robustness. What about that one? Right. It will not be easy for them to copy, competitors to copy this one. Right. For example, right. So they have a lot of experience in Sri Lankan market. So they may provide product which are meet into customer requirement. Therefore, competitors may find difficult to copy that one. On the other hand, we have a patent right on this app also, that is also something which is difficult to copy, right. Then next point is non-substitutability. So I do not think that competitor need this one due to various reason. For example, they may not have the required finance, country like Sembia. So we are one of the largest company in Sri Lanka and we may be backing up with enough resources. So therefore, right, so it will not be easy for others to acquire similar things. They may not think on to acquire similar things, right. Right. So we have analyzed strategic capabilities of EF Finance Sembia Limited also by using the BIN framework. So we will look at about the examiner answer also, what the examiner tell. So is talking about the theory part first, right. Then we look at about what he is saying. So value to customers, what he is telling about value to customers. A competitive advantage exists only to the extent that it contributes to the organization ability to satisfy its customer need. That is the theory part. Definition, what is value to customers. For the given scenario, CFS Group systematically satisfies customer need by adding value to them. Also, CFS provide diversified finance product, loans like that we have in few, in order to help narrow the finance service gap in Sembia. So we identify the same, no. It is apparent that the company produce effect that are valuable to its buyers, right. In rarity, unique resources are rare. If a resource is not rare, competitor can obtain it too. If competitor can obtain the same resource, the resource cannot provide a competitive advantage. That is the theory part, definition on rarity. Look at the application part. For the scenario, the group has the worldwide patent right for the microfinance mobile app, which will probably give right to valuable product portfolio. See, so it is something rare, right. We can't find similar things from others since we have the patent right. CFS is also keen to establish innovative financial lending model across Sembia using the microfinance bank it acquired last year. This innovative lending model will probably be a novel lending model to Sembian customers. There is another new rare thing. Inimitability and robustness. So first of all, theory definition. Then it say Sembian competitors may not be able to imitate their product and business processes. CF Finance will be able to utilize the benefit of the patented microfinance mobile app. Yes. So we have a patent one, no, they can't copy the same. Also, the competitors of CFS Finance may face difficulty when they try to imitate their lending practices due to innovative features. Further, the Sembian business is managed by well qualified country manager. So it will be difficult task for them to copy. Non-substitutability. For the scenario, there is service gap in Sembia in terms of asset finance services. CFS has acquired a microfinance bank to establish innovative finance lending model across Sembia. Thus, the Sembian company may not need such acquisition due to various business reasons. Probably they may not have the required finances to get this, right. Right. So with that we complete B part. Right. Then part C. So, evaluate the managing director statement about CFS group having a transnational organization design in order to be successful in its international business model. Evaluate the managing director statement about CFS group having a transnational organization design. So, it tests your knowledge on organization structure, which look at the theory part first. What is transnational? Right. What is transnational structure? Look at this transnational structure. Transnational structure attempt to recognize global scope and scale with local responsiveness. That means you are going to adjust yourself to local requirement. You are a global company, but you are trying to adapt to the local requirement also. Right? In international strategy, it has been difficult to combine responsiveness to local condition with the degree of coordination necessary to achieve major economic of scale. The essence of the extreme case of the problem is an enforced choice between a low cost product originally specified for a single market, which is potentially uninteresting or even actively shunned in other market, and a range of low volume and therefore high cost product is specified for and produced in a single national market. Johnson and others highlight these two cases are known as global and the multi-domestic approach organization, and they have their own characteristic organization structures. The global approach leads to global divisions, each responsible for the worldwide production and marketing of a related group of standardized product. The multi-domestic approach leads to the setting up a kitchen of local subsidiaries, each with a great deal of autonomy in design, production and marketing. Look at this, under this approach there are two options available. One is global approach. Right, that global you have global division, each responsible worldwide production marketing for related group of standardized product. Right, අපි වෙනම division හදන එක country එකේ හදලා මොකද කරන්නේ ඒවා හරහාම production එකයි marketing එකයි කරනවා. Right, we are going to do the production and the marketing within them. This multi domestic approach, what is that is the other options. What we do is setting up a acquisition of local subsidiaries. Right. So, if you look at about the scenario given here, so here some scenario given, no, right, it mentioned that here mentioned CFF is keen to establish innovative finance lending model across Sembia using the microfinance bank it acquired recently. Look at that one, microfinance bank it acquired recently, right. So, here, so multi-domestic approach is one part of this transactional structure. Here, how we are going to do that one is acquiring existing one. Now, here we have acquired existing one, right. So, that point is correct, right. Then transactional structure attempt to combine the best features of these contrasting approach to create competences of global relevance, responsiveness to local condition, innovation and learning on an organization-wide scale. Yes, we are providing innovative solution to that particular market also, because Johnson, what Johnson say, Johnson and others note that the transactional has three specific operational characteristics. A, national unit are independent operating unit entity, but also provide abilities such as RD that are utilized by the rest of the organizations. If you look at about the scenario given, are they independent unit? Yes. It clearly mentioned that in Sri Lanka, for example, it mentioned that see other business unit located in Sri Lanka operate as independent entities, although they provide capabilities that are utilized by the rest of the CFS group. So, independent operating unit, right, and on the other hand they share the resource also, no, Such shared capability allow national unit to achieve global or at least regional economic of scale, right. Yes, they achieve this one. Next one, the global corporate parent add value by establishing the basic role of each national unit and then supporting system, relationship and culture that enable them to work together as an effective network. Here parent is supporting, no? Right, parent is supporting here. So we have appointed a country manager. So country manager should report to this parent, then parent monitor the activities of the country manager. So if you look at about the next feature, this parent add value by establishing the basic role of each national unit and then support system, relationship and culture. So this role also covered, no. So therefore I think right, so this this organization design is having the required characteristic meet the transaction organization design, right. So we will look at about what examiner tell on this one also. As economies have become more globalized, more and more firms are now participating in foreign market. The transactional structure attempt to recognize global scope and scale with local responsiveness. CFS Group, being a Sri Lankan company, need to adapt to Sembian business process. In international strategy, it has been difficult to combine responsiveness to local conditions with the degree of coordination necessary to achieve major economics of scale. That is theory part actually. Then look at the para number 2. Johnson and others highlighted two cases, global and the multi-domestic approaches to organization. The global approach lead to global division, each responsible for the worldwide production and marketing of a related group of standardized product. The multi-domestic approach lead to the setting up or acquisition of local subsidiaries, each with a great deal of autonomy in design, production and marketing. Theory part. Now the application part. It is apparent that CFS applied the multi-domestic approach as they have acquired a microfinance bank last year. Yes, we have found the same thing. So they have acquired that microfinance bank in last year. So that right show that they apply multi-domestic approach, right. Then next one, as per the scenario, other business units located in Sri Lanka operate an independent entity. They provide capability that are utilized by the rest of the group. Therefore, such shared capability allow national unit to achieve global economic of scale. So what is that point? So here, if you look at about the study fact, here see this national unit are independent operating unit, but also provide capabilities such as RD that are utilized by the rest of the organization. That point is covered by the examiner also. Not only that, this one, such shared capability allow national unit to achieve global or at least regional economic of scale. That 2 points have been extracted by the examiner. See. For the scenario, the other business unit located in Sri Lanka operate as independent entities. They provide capabilities that are utilized by the rest of the group. Therefore, such shared capabilities allow national unit to achieve global economic of scale. CFS Group has very clearly defined managerial role, relationship boundaries. Also, as per the given facts, the country manager must provide feedback on local requirement and managers facilitate and integrate all other managerial activities. All these factors are prerequisites if a transactional design is to work as highlighted by Johnson and others. Right. Accordingly, a transnational organized design is an appropriate organized structure for CFS FS. This is the third point actually, right. Parent get the feedback and then monitor the activities. The third point also covered within the answer. Good questions. Right. Test your applications, proper applications. Right. Then we can move to part D. Discuss the managerial perspective of strategy as a design and strategy as experience as major ways in which strategies can come about in the CFS group. Managerial perspective of strategy as a design and strategy as experience as major ways in which strategy can come about in the CFS group. 5 marks. That is strategy lenses, no? It tests your knowledge on strategy lenses. That was discussed in the topic number 1 in theory part. strategy lenses. Right, strategy lenses. Now here question test about strategy as a design, that is one. Other one is strategy as experience. What is strategy as design? Now look at the theory part. So under the strategy as design, what we are going to do, we take the view that study development is a formal logical plan process. In there we compare internal strengths and weaknesses with the external opportunities and threat, and we consider the stakeholders' expectation also when we establish the strategic direction for the organization. For example, rationale model we have discussed, right, is using this type of approach. This is normally top-down approach for decision making. We are not going to take ideas from the managers who are all in the day-to-day activities, right. So top management decide what should be done, then you ask low-level people to implement that one. This type of approach is more suitable for stable environment, right, and better for scenario where it is expected to have a major cultural change, right. Then that is one area tested in the questions. Then other one is strategy as experience. What is strategy as experience? Here the view is normal future strategies of the organization are heavily influenced by the experience of the managers and others in the organization based on their previous strategies, right. Here you more rely on the skill and knowledge of the low level management and the staff, right. What you do is you get the ideas from them, then based on that one you go for a study development part. Right. This is a bottom up approach for strategy decision making, since the managers involved in day-to-day activities are contribute on this, right. Right. Now the question asks you whether we can use these two approaches, right. We will look at here again CFS group, right. This is relevant to CFS group, right, not only to that Sembia limited. So we look at about whether they can use this one, right. We will look at about the scenario given, whether we can find some point relevant to this. First para, do you have any point to be captured? No. Second point also no point to capture. Third para, no. Fourth one, I mentioned that we firmly believe that our strategies are deemed to arise as a design strategy, as a design rather than by the experience of our team members. It has mentioned like that, no. So that means top down approach is apply at the group level, right. So these top people may have defined the appropriate strategy for the organization, then may ask from the bottom line people to implement that one, right. Any other point we can consider? But here see So, we can talk about this strategy as design, since they have stated. What do you think about this experience approach? Do we have opportunity to use that one? Do we have the required capabilities to do that? Yes. For example, look at that. The well-versed managers of CFP group facilitate and integrate all other managerial activities. That means they are well capable. They have the required skill and the experience, right? So therefore, they can use this experience approach also, right? So both approach can be used by them, right? So we look at about the examiner's answer. So strategy as design, explain what is strategy as design. That theory part was para number 1. Para number 2 is the applications. What applications say? For the scenario, as per the scenario, CFA group firmly believe that strategies are deemed to arise as a design, strategy as design rather than the experience of the team members. Yes, so they believe that one, no, right? As the country manager is responsible to give feedback to the parent group, in this context, strategy as design is more appropriate for CFA FSA. That's true. So we have extracted that point, but experience one, look at that one. First part is the theory part, para number 2. Last para, it try to apply this one. It is bottom-up approach to strategic decision making. Those involved in day-to-day operation contribute the experience of what the customer want and what the organization is like to be good at providing. It thrives on concessions, and if the concession is not forthcoming, then any change can be reversed. Since the Sembian market is a relatively new market for CFA, it is advised to apply the strategy as experience approach to formulate strategies, right? So experience can be used for this right Sembian market. That is what is given by the examiner. So in addition to that one, I think you can mention that these managers are capable, right, they have the versatile knowledge, therefore you can take the experience of managers also when you are trying to design the strategies for the group. You can mention that point also in addition to what examiner. So examiner talk only about the Sembian market, you can talk even for the group. You can mention that if they want, they can use this experience approach, since these managers have more versatile knowledge. Right. So with that, we can complete the question number 2 also. Section 1 is over. That was not based on the pre-scene, right? Question number 1 and 2 have been covered, 25 mark questions. Then we can move to the section